Hello, my name is Michael Spaeth, and I am the current planning principal planner for the Town of Oro Valley and host of this informational community outreach video. Thank you for tuning in to the first step in this public outreach process. This process has been kicked off in response to a proposed annexation, general plan amendment, and rezoning on a site near you, the Westward Look Resort property located near the intersection of Ina Road and Westward Look Drive. The number one objective is to invite you to participate and understand how to stay informed. The goals of this video are to 1. Ensure everyone is informed with information regarding the annexation, 2. Help prepare for the required neighborhood meeting process for the general plan amendment and rezoning applications for future development, and 3. Provide information about the process and next steps. Here are the steps we're going to follow. First, I will provide information regarding the annexation. Secondly, I will provide information on the public participation process and how to stay involved. Third, I will provide key background information about the property, including the existing general plan and zoning designations, explain what we mean by general plan and zoning, and cover the general plan amendment and rezoning process and review criteria. Fourth, I will introduce Ms. Linda Morales, who is representing the property owner. She will walk us all through the what and why of the property owner's site proposal. Lastly, I will provide information on next steps moving forward and provide information on how to stay informed and make your voice heard. Additional information has been posted on ovprojects.com, and it will continue to be updated as the town receives the anticipated formal application from Westward Look. Let's get started. First, I'd like to take a moment to orient everyone with respect to the subject property. The property is approximately 75 acres in size, located east of the Oracle and Ina Road intersection, adjacent to the southern boundary of the Town of Oro Valley, as you can see in the image on the left. It is bounded on the south by Ina Road, extending north on both sides of Westward Look Drive, as shown on the right-hand image. What does annexation mean? Annexation occurs when a property located outside of a jurisdiction, in this case in unincorporated Pima County, seeks to become a part of an incorporated area, in this case the Town of Oro Valley. Annexation is a property owner-driven process, though in this case the town has directly invited Westward Look Resort to join the Oro Valley community. The town has an annexation strategy, recently adopted by Town Council, which provides direction regarding future annexations. The strategy identifies a number of potential annexation areas neighboring the town, categorized from highest priority to lowest. The Westward Look Resort property is a priority 1, the highest priority property. Why is the town interested in annexing the resort? The resort represents an opportunity for the town to build upon key goals expressed by Oro Valley residents in the Your Voice, Our Future general plan. As you can see, there are several economic goals and policies from the general plan that directly support the proposed annexation. As such, the town has proactively approached the resort to discuss potential annexation. Later in this video, the general manager of the resort, Mr. Andrew Stegen, will discuss the applicant's perspective on the proposed annexation. The first question for many of you will be, is my property being annexed? No, it is not. The annexation is focused solely on the Westward Look Resort property, as shown on the screen in yellow. Who approves the proposed annexation? Because there is only one property owner, the Westward Look Resort, if they agree with the proposed annexation, the request will proceed to a public hearing before the Oro Valley Town Council for consideration. The proposed annexation will be accompanied by 2 development-related applications, a general plan amendment and rezoning, which will track concurrently with the annexation. Westward Look wishes to achieve 2 objectives. First, ready the area that fronts Ina Road for future development, and second, assign proper zoning to the existing resort development and open space areas. For all general plan and rezoning amendments, the town requires applicants to engage in community outreach at the front end of the process before formal applications are submitted, as it is important to hear your comments and questions early and often. Does your participation matter? Absolutely. Community input has shaped every general plan amendment and rezoning application in Oro Valley. Typically, an in-person neighborhood meeting is held prior to formal submittal of a general plan amendment and/or rezoning application. However, the zoning code enables the planning and zoning administrator to approve alternative methods of public outreach when warranted. With the ongoing COVID-19 social distancing requirements, alternative methods are necessary and are the best solution under the existing circumstances. Please help us spread the word about this proposal and video, Over 550 property owners near the site have been notified directly by mail. Furthermore, the site has been posted with yellow signs in multiple locations. If you weren't notified and wish to be in the future, please send us a request with your name and address to ask@orovalleyaz.gov. This video is the first step in what will be an intensive process. Later in this video, we will map out what the anticipated process will look like. It is also important to establish that this request is to develop private property. All property owners have the right to request review of their development proposal. It is their charge to create, justify, and seek Town Council approval of general plan amendment and rezoning applications. As part of this video, the applicant will begin to describe the rationale for both applications. As of today, August 31st, we do not have a general plan amendment and rezoning submittal from the property owner, but we do anticipate one from the applicant by the middle of next month. A pre-application concept for the site has been provided, and you will hear more about that directly from the property owner's representative, Ms. Linda Morales. Again, due to ongoing COVID-19 concerns, the standard neighborhood meeting format has been modified to provide information while still addressing your comments and concerns. A web-based, fully interactive Zoom meeting will be conducted on September 15th. As mentioned previously, following that meeting, we expect a formal submittal from the applicant by the middle of next month. Following a couple rounds of review for code conformance, a second neighborhood meeting will be held. There are additional opportunities for public input as well. Both applications require consideration by the Planning and Zoning Commission at a public hearing. After receiving public testimony, they may vote to provide a formal recommendation to Town Council. The project will then be considered by Town Council. After receiving community testimony, Town Council may vote to approve, deny, or continue the application. Again, both the annexation-related applications and general plan amendment and rezoning applications will be considered by Town Council at one public hearing. Notices will be sent out in advance of both public hearings. Before I provide some detail on the background of the property, I'd like to briefly discuss what is a general plan. The Your Voice, Our Future General Plan is a voter-approved long-range policy document which drives town decisions and embodies the community's values. It includes the vision, guiding principles, goals, and policies, as well as the land use map, which show the proposed general uses of all land in the Oro Valley planning area, including this property. The plan, including the land use map, was ratified by the voters in 2016. Property owners have the right to request a land use change to their private property, known as a general plan amendment. The general plan intentionally acknowledged that amendments would be made throughout the life of the plan and specifically states that the amendment process be used because of its robust public engagement process as shown on the slide. With that in mind, the plan includes amendment criteria for evaluating amendment proposals, which include general conformance with the vision, guiding principles, goals, and policies of the general plan, a thorough review of how neighbor concerns have been addressed by the applicant as part of their proposal, and for non-residential amendments, an evaluation of whether or not it contributes to the long-term stability of the town. If you'll recall, one of the components of the general plan is the land use map, which applies a land use designation to all property within the town's planning boundary. For the subject property, the existing land use designation is resort golf course, neighborhood commercial office, and low-density residential. Now that we've talked about the general plan and the land use designations, how does zoning relate? Where the general plan is a high-level policy document that drives town decisions, the zoning of the property is what actually gives the property owner the legal right to use their land. It establishes which uses are permitted, for example, homes, and which development standards are applicable, for example, building height limitations or setback requirements. The existing zoning for the property is Pima County CR1 as shown on the screen. This zoning district is intended for detached single-family residential uses with minimum lot sizes of 36,000 square feet. The resort is allowed as it is considered a legal, non-conforming use based on when it was established. Now that we have some background on the existing general plan land use and zoning designations for the property, I want to take a brief moment to explain the applicant's proposal in broad strokes before they provide more detail. Again, Westward Look wishes to achieve two objectives: ready the area that fronts Ina Road for future development and assign proper zoning to the existing resort development and open space areas. To accomplish this, they need to process the general plan amendment to the general plan land use map and a rezoning to planned area development. Again, these applications are expected to run concurrently with the associated annexation applications. The only area the applicant is seeking a general plan amendment land use designation change for is the low-density residential area on the northwest corner of Ina Road and Westward Look intersection. The request is to change from low-density residential to neighborhood commercial office, similar to the property located on the northeast corner of the intersection to accommodate the proposed uses. The applicant is proposing a rezoning to planned area development, which is a set of zoning requirements that would be specific to this property. A planned area development, or PAD, allows a mix of uses, is customizable, and can be tailored to be site-specific. As part of the PAD, the request includes 3 separate concepts for the vacant parcels that front on Ina Road. I will just quickly walk through these as the applicant's representative will go into much more detail during her presentation. As you can see on the screen, the 3 concepts include a mix of uses ranging from retail or restaurant to multifamily or hotel. Again, the applicant will provide much more detail on each of the concepts. Both the general plan amendment and rezoning applications will be reviewed for conformance with the general plan and zoning code. With that in mind, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Linda Morales with the Planning Center, representing the property owner, to provide more detail regarding their proposals and to explain the what and why of their applications.
Thank you, Mr. Spaeth. Before I go into the proposed uses for the property, I'd like to turn it over to Andrew Stegan, the General Manager for Westward Look, to give some history on the property and some background on why they are excited at the prospect of being part of the Town of Oro Valley.
I hope that this message finds everybody healthy and safe during these strange times that we are presently in. My name is Andrew Stegan, and I am the General Manager of the Westward Look Resort and Spa. I'd like to speak to you today about an exciting partnership that we are hoping to solidify with the Town of Oro Valley over the next several months. However, before I get into that, I would like to give you a quick history of the resort and its current ownership. Many of you have been our neighbors for a long time, so you already know that our resort really was built in 1912 as a dude ranch for the Watson family. In the mid part of the 20th century, the resort became more open to the public and has welcomed many of your friends and your families over the years, as well as dozens of celebrities such as John Wayne, Dean Martin, John McEnroe, just to name a few. During those years, the resort has expanded several times, always fitting in the natural surroundings that we will never take for granted. In 2012, in partnership with Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, Dr. Kiran Patel purchased the Westward Look Resort and Spa as a long-term commitment to bringing the resort back to a 4-star plus level. With his proposed annexation, joining the Oro Valley community will only enhance our mission to continue to distinguish ourselves from other world-class resorts. 2 years ago, we started that process, and we are in the later stages of a $10 million renovation. We completed the tennis courts 2 years ago, and many of you will recall that just last year, we hosted 3 ITF professional tennis tournaments on property. Although we have not been able to hold any tournaments this year because of COVID, we hope to continue that in the future. Additionally, we have renovated all of our meeting space, painted all of the buildings inside and out, and we're currently renovating all of the guest rooms, which will be finished by the end of 2020. It's important for me to mention all of these renovations to set the groundwork for the future. Dr. Patel has a vision to make Westward Look Resort and Spa into one of the premier resort destinations in the Southwest. With Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, Dr. Patel is very excited about the future by enhancing on the natural surroundings of the resort and its incredible history. And that is where the partnership with the Town of Oro Valley comes in. Although I can assure you that ownership does not have any imminent plans for development, we are looking to the future and looking at all possibilities of what we can do with the approximate 75 acres that presently belong to ownership. The proposed annexation to Oro Valley will allow us to better accomplish those plans by giving us the flexibility to develop whenever that may be in the future, within the Oro Valley development guidelines that promote working within our natural surroundings and drawing on our history to make Westward Look a proud member of the Oro Valley community. To help us better explain to you what our thoughts are on future development, Westward Look has hired the Planning Center, a local company whose mission is to help companies and individuals navigate the complexities of land planning, community visioning, and urban design. Here to explain more details on the zoning portion of the proposed annexation is Linda Morales from the Planning Center. On behalf of Dr. Patel and Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, thank you for your time.
Westward Look has hired my firm, the Planning Center, to assist them in their annexation and rezoning process. The Planning Center is a local land planning and landscape architecture firm located in downtown Tucson. As Mr. Spaeth outlined, we are working on 3 concurrent processes: annexation into Oro Valley, a general plan amendment for a portion of the site, and the rezoning of the property to the planned area development zone. Given the fact that the Westward Look has been continuously operating since the early 1900s, it predates zoning in Pima County. Pima County didn't adopt a zoning code until 1952. Therefore, the resort currently operates as a legal non-conforming use. As we annex into the town, we intend to rezone the property to the planned area development district, which is a customized zoning that accommodates unique master plan properties such as this and allows for a plan to be developed over time. The Westward Look property is just under 75 acres. The resort, as you know, is located on Westward Look Drive, occupying about 36 acres. Across Westward Look Drive to the west is approximately 20 acres of vacant land, which Westward Look uses for trail rides, hiking, and natural open space. To the south, along Ina Road, is where the equestrian facility and stables are located, as well as an outdoor event area and basketball and volleyball courts. And to the west of the entry drive along Ina Road is a vacant parcel of just under 5 acres. And now I'd like to talk about our plans to use zoning to recognize the existing resort, open space, and area for future development. The yellow area you see on this exhibit shows the existing resort property. Most of this is fully developed and no significant changes are proposed. The PAD will be focused mainly on reflecting what is there today, with allowances for minor redevelopment or modifications to the existing resort down the road. As you heard from Andrew, the resort is undergoing a major renovation and there are no plans for any additional changes to the resort at this time. The green area to the west of the resort will remain as open space. The resort proposes to continue to use the area for passive recreation, including the trail rides and hiking, but no new development or buildings are proposed for this portion of the property. The pink portion of the property is the area that has the potential for redevelopment. We are referring to this area as the Resort Gateway in the proposed PAD. As Andrew said, there are no immediate plans for development at this time. However, it's important to the owner that we plan for the future as part of this process. Therefore, we are presenting 3 different development scenarios for these 18 acres. These plans have all been conceived to provide complementary uses that will support the resort. The idea behind these 3 conceptual plans is to provide the flexibility to mix and match a variety of land uses, but in all cases, any new development would be of the quality and character established by the Westward Look. While its location along the busy Ina Road allows for a more urban land use pattern, we recognize the need to provide transitions, setbacks, and buffers to the existing neighbors. We look forward to working with you to address these items as we move through the public process. Here is the first of the 3 concept plans. At the north end of this plan, you see a consolidation of the resort's recreational uses, which could include a relocation of the equestrian center, as well as an event lawn and parking. This area is separated from the rest of the site by a wash, which will remain as open space. To the east of Westward Look Drive, a luxury apartment complex is proposed, along with its own centralized pool and recreation area. This could be a mix of 2- and 3-story buildings and may have its own gated entrance off Westward Look Drive. A large landscape buffer is proposed between the buildings and the existing homes to the east. To the west of the entrance drive, we are showing a boutique retail and restaurant space. To give you an idea of the scale, this area is approximately the size of Broadway Village, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, the historic shopping center at the intersection of Broadway and Country Club in Tucson. We envision this area to be similar in character to that development, with shops and restaurants opening onto courtyards and patios. This center we envision as not only serving the guests of the resort, but also residents of the existing homes and the proposed apartments, creating a charming place for people to walk to and enjoy. In all 3 concepts, the wash to the north of this parcel will remain as open space, providing a natural buffer to the homes to the north. The second of the concepts still shows a recreational option on the north part of the property, where it abuts the south end of the existing resort. For the balance of the site, Between the Wash and Ina Road, we are proposing both sides of Westward Look Drive as a mix of office, hospitality, and retail and restaurant uses. We envision this concept to be similar to a St. Philip's Plaza in terms of character, scale, and mix of uses. St. Philip's is the plaza at the southeast corner of River and Campbell. A smaller hotel use is part of this proposal, which would be targeted toward the business traveler and could accommodate additional guests at peak times, such as when the resort is hosting a larger event or tournament. For the western portion of the site, we have shown a concept that reflects a mix of office with retail, similar to the Sam Hughes Place development near 6th and Campbell in Tucson. The third concept is a departure from the retail and restaurant concept and focuses more on residential and hospitality uses. You still have a recreation option for the resort at the north end of the site. But along Ina, we show a larger building focused toward the center of the site, which could be either a resort-style apartment use or a convention-style hotel, which would again complement rather than compete with the existing resort. On the western portion of the site, we show a layout of single-family villa-style homes, which are organized around a recreation area and provide a single-family style of housing that could be either rental or owner-occupied. Again, all three of these options are possible development scenarios for down the road. Although the property is not currently part of the Town of Oro Valley, it is within the town's planning area and was therefore included in the current Oro Valley General Plan. The General Plan designates resort golf course for the existing resort and open space, neighborhood commercial office to the east of Westward Look Drive, and low-density residential on the west side of Westward Look Drive. So the majority of the property is already in the general plan for the proposed uses. Only the 5 acres on Ina west of the drive needs to be amended to allow the proposed development, amending it from low-density residential to neighborhood commercial/office. The planned area development zoning for the existing resort property and open space will be based on the town's R4R Resort District Zone. We are customizing the standards to match up with the existing resort, but the bottom line here is that not much is proposed to change in this area, and the zoning will generally reflect what is there today. The resort gateway area along Ina Road will be based on the town's CN Neighborhood Commercial District, with customization to help us achieve the high standards of quality and character expected by the Westward Look. Thank you for your interest. Both Andrew and I look forward to hearing from you and working together as we develop these plans and look toward the future.
Thank you, Ms. Morales. I would like to conclude by reiterating how to make your voice heard over the course of this process. Again, this is just the first step. There will be multiple opportunities to participate throughout this process. The first neighborhood meeting is again scheduled on September 15th and will be a web-based, fully interactive Zoom meeting. Additional information has been posted on ovprojects.com, and it will be continually updated as the town receives a formal application and any other additional information. Please use ask@orovalleyaz.gov and ovprojects.com throughout this process to stay informed. We will continue to notify property owners who received a yellow postcard for this video and post the property with yellow signs for upcoming events. If you wish to receive a postcard and did not for this video, please reach out via ask@orovalleyaz.gov and provide your name and address, and we will ensure that you are notified next time. Thank you for your care and consideration. Again, I would like to reiterate it is important to hear your comments and questions. Community participation is what makes Oro Valley a special place. Community input has shaped every general plan amendment and rezoning application in Oro Valley, just as it will on this project. After providing your comments on ask@orovalleyaz.gov, please stay in the know by checking into ovprojects.com and tune in for the neighborhood meeting on September 15th. Thank you.